Let's get into it.
So we've got a family in Tampa Bay wanting answers after an 83-year-old man was found dead at his assisted living facility in Trinity. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office tells us he was found in a walk-in freezer. His family says he had dementia, but they want some answers. Fox 13's Kylie Jones spoke with his family who wants to make sure this never happens to any other family. Kylie, this is so sad. What more do you know?
Mark, it's heartbreaking. The family of William Eugene Ray hoped to cherish the limited time they knew they had left with him. Now they want to know how this could have happened.
Yeah, good question.
William Eugene Ray was a lot of things.
He was funny. He was artistic, very creative, always happy, always smiling, friendly to everyone.
And a proud 36-year veteran of the U.S. Navy. To his wife, though, he was Gene. And to his 2 adult children, he was Dad.
He, never raised his voice. He was just so hardworking. His work ethic was incredible.
Kristen Spencer says her father started showing signs of dementia, although he was still physically active at 83 years old.
Mentally, the dementia, it was just progressing.
In May, Gene's family made the difficult decision to move him into the Waverly Assisted Living and Memory Care in Trinity.
There was no issues right at the beginning. As time progressed, though, you see, when you're there all the time, you see things. And so you see these little things that start to send up concerns.
Among them were concerns about staffing.
You put your loved one in there with trust.
Spencer installed a Ring camera in her dad's room to keep an eye on him when she couldn't be there.
I woke up the next morning, and when I looked at the Ring camera, the light was on, and he was not in his room.
In immediate panic, Spencer called her mother, then called the Waverly to alert staff. They raced to the facility. More time passed until a staff member came in and told them they found Gene.
But then the next words out of her mouth was, "He's in the freezer." And I said, "What do you mean he's in the freezer?"
Spencer.
Where are the people who's supposed to be watching it? How did he get into the freezer? There's too many questions here. What do you mean he's in the freezer? Come on now. What are we talking about? I mean, I understand dementia. They're not in the right mind anymore, but the freezer wasn't locked. You're in an assisted living facility that has, I'm assuming, it has plenty of people with dementia. So you just don't keep it locked? He was just able to walk in there? No, there's a lot of questions. Let's keep going.
Says her father was found in a walk-in freezer in the facility.
We need answers. We need answers. How could this happen?
Spencer says the Ring camera shows her dad get out of bed and leave his room at about 12:30 in the morning, hours before he was found in the freezer.
If we had not called the facility, and when would they have found him?
We reached out to the Waverly. A spokesman
No
said
comment.
they've never experienced an incident of this nature. He said, quote, "Our community is deeply saddened by this heartbreaking loss. The grief felt by our entire staff is indescribable. We are truly proud of our staff's profound and immediate response to the situation."
Basic safety measures not in place. When you have vulnerable people in a place, you have to secure these areas.
That just makes sense to
Spencer
me.
says at this point they haven't received any explanation or been contacted by the facility since her father's death. We did also ask the facility about staffing concerns. A spokesman for the Waverly said they're in compliance with all regulations and that the safety, dignity, and well-being of their residents is their highest priority.
Yeah, so they gave a general answer. They gave a general answer of what
Tonight,
felt
our
like-
I-team is looking.
what the law would tell them to give, what their lawyer would tell them to give. That sounds like to me. Now, there's so many questions. Like, there should be people, if a patient has dementia, come on now, there should be someone watching the front, watching the cameras, seeing if they leave the room. Come on now, it's common sense, absolute common. Let's get into this next video and see what else we can learn.
Looking into the case of an elderly man with dementia who died from hypothermia.
The Pasco County Sheriff's Office says that the man who lived at an assisted living facility in Trinity disappeared from his room last week and was discovered trapped in a walk-in freezer.
How could this happen? Basic safety measures not in place to secure the kitchen.
I-Team investigator Adam Malser was able to track down the man's family. His daughter agreed to tell this story, hoping to prevent something like this from ever happening again.
William Eugene Ray, who went by Gene, brought joy to those around him.
He played the harmonica. I mean, he loved to play the harmonica.
His daughter Kristen says he spent his final months entertaining residents and staff at the Waverly Assisted Living and Memory Care in Trinity.
Looks like a
where
nice
Gene
facility,
lived
too.
since May.
And
crazy.
here is his harmonica.
Oh, wow. That harmonica is now among the treasured keepsakes of a life cut short, including models of bridges and battleships Gene built for his grandson, drawings of planes and muscle cars, and mementos from decades he served in the Navy Reserve. Gene moved into the Waverly because his family wanted him to be safe.
He had dementia. It was, getting to a point where my mom just couldn't handle it.
The facility, which opened last year, advertises elegance in living, excellence in service on its website.
I know you must have thought that this is going to be a...
Know that costs some money. We got to be honest. You know it costs some money.
a wonderful home for your
Oh,
mom.
absolutely.
But Kristen says red flags started to appear.
There were issues with staffing that we were aware of.
That prompted Kristen to install a Ring camera in her father's room. On September 26th, she woke up and
That he was not in his room. The light was on and he wasn't in his room.
Kristen went through video clips and saw her father left his room at 12:33 a.m., but never returned. Kristen called the facility to notify the staff, then called her mom, who met her at the Waverly. Nearly 8 hours after Gene went missing,
The director came in and said they found him. And then she said he was in the freezer. And I said, "What do you mean he's in the freezer?" I couldn't even believe the words that I was hearing.
EMS arrived and rushed him to Trinity Medical Center, a stone's throw from the facility. But by the time Gene arrived, it was too late.
His core body temperature was 66 degrees.
According to a report we obtained from the Pasco County Medical Examiner, the preliminary cause of death was hypothermia. The Pasco County Sheriff's Office and the Agency for Healthcare Administration, or ACA, are investigating. A representative of the Waverly who did not share his name called me, and he declined an on-camera interview citing privacy concerns. He did confirm that the Waverly is cooperating fully with investigators. He said detectives spent 12 hours here on the scene gathering evidence, and he says that the facility turned over all its interior surveillance footage from that day. He provided a statement saying in part, quote, "We consistently staff our building at more than double the minimum requirements established by ACA." Attorney Steve Barnes
That's a contradiction right there. And it was so the daughter of the patient who died, the elderly man who was found in the freezer, said that she noticed staffing concerns. But the facility itself says no, we double the minimum of what is required.
Presents Gene's family has filed a notice of intent to file a wrongful death lawsuit alleging negligence and or deviation from the standards of care.
There's got to be multiple points that this could have been prevented, and that's what we're going to be looking at, not just locks on 2 sets of doors, but how one of their residents at that time of the night can be left to wander common areas of the building without somebody at least asking questions or seeing why he's down there.
Why do you think it's important that word gets out that something like this happened?
Well, it needs not to happen again. We've done some investigation and found out something very similar happened in Utah.
That Utah case involved 75-year-old Ricky Rubik, who was found trapped in a freezer at the Meadows at Escalante Assisted Living Facility. She died
dementia?
of frostbite and hypothermia 4 days later. The Utah Department of Health and Human Services fined the facility $11,200 for multiple violations and placed its license on conditional status.
I play a little music and come back down and say,
Kristen says she wants justice for her father.
And in those moments, with him
11,000.
locked in there all by himself, like for hours, I don't even have words.
Have there been apologies?
Of course.
No,
What?
nothing. They failed us. They failed my family. They failed my dad. That's the bottom line.
I'm I-Team investigator Adam Walser with photojournalist Matt McGlashan, Tampa Bay 28.
We should mention up until this incident on September 26th, the Waverly Assisted Living and Memory Care Facility had not been cited for any violations by the state.
Absolutely crazy. And they said that another lady died in Utah. Trapped in, I want to know if she was had dementia. They only fined them $11,000. Do y'all think that was enough money to be fined? But I am a complete agreement that they should sue the living facility. It's not going to bring them back, of course, but they got to do something. Because come on, man, a patient with dementia was able to get out of bed at 12 past midnight, wander the halls, and then somehow get into a walk-in freezer and lock himself in. Nah, something's wrong. There's not enough staff. Something is wrong. Someone's not watching the cameras. Come on now. What are we doing? What are we thinking? But they're going to go through the lawsuit process and hopefully they get awarded something. Because that is a crazy situation. You got to pray for the family. Yeah. They thought they had more time with them. A little bit more time at least. And then then your father ends up dying in a horrible situation of hypothermia, of trapped in a freezer in a place where he was supposed to be safe against himself. Absolute crazy. Let me know if you disagree with anything I said. Have there been any sketchy things happening in any of your family members or anything like that with living facilities, assisted living facilities? You gotta do your research on these places, but they said that they didn't have any complaints in the past or any what is it called? Yeah, basically any complaints are saying that they're violating some of the standards. Absolutely crazy, y'all. Absolutely crazy. Let me know your thoughts on that situation. All right, everybody. Remember, this is AC